Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Epic Expert interviews. And today with us, we have Brandon Shubert from Stonefish Sushi. Welcome, Brandon.
Hey, nice to be here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
nice
this
to have you
fun.
on the show. I think you're our first restaurateur on the show.
Oh,
So
wow.
why don't
There
we
you go.
start with you telling us a little bit about some of the influences that got you involved in becoming a chef and opening a restaurant?
My mom was a great cook, and so I was always in the kitchen anyways. When I went to college for actual music, actually for performance for voice, which is kind of funny. But I was putting myself through college cooking, and cooking was still fun. So I ended up getting out of college and going to culinary school back in the early '90s, and became a chef.
And
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's art and creativity, and actually, kind of, it almost seems like a musical influence would be something that would happen when you create sushi and roll sushi. Can you tell us about how you
Well,
got
it's
involved in sushi?
all about visual, and it's all about the feel of actually working with your hands, and how it all plays together in the satisfaction that you get from making someone else happy. And it's instant gratification because you make something that's really great, and you see it on their face instantly. And it is instant gratification. It's really nice. It's a fun way to live and make a living, actually.
And do you have to go for like special training for sushi? Are you self-taught, or how did that
Well,
all unfold?
I actually had a friend that owns a sushi place down in Arizona, and I was running hotels at the time. I was in the corporate world for a really long time, about 17 years. And my buddy owned a sushi place, and I was wanting to get out of the corporate world. And I was just like, I want to do what you do in Cortez, Colorado. And he looked at me and went, "Where?" I'm like, this little town kind of outside by Durango. You know where Durango is? And he's like, "Oh yeah, I go skiing and snowboarding up at Purgatory." And I'm like, "Well, it's on the way to there." Huh. Okay. So we started talking, and worked out a deal, and he came up, and I built the place out, and he came in and gave me and my crew a kind of a crash course to start with. I mean, I knew the basics of sushi. I mean, I've been a chef for a long time, but he was the real deal. So he gave us a crash course, and then we were on our way. And that was like 12 years ago. So yeah, it worked out pretty well.
It's awesome.
So what do you do to continue to grow and learn and as far as a chef?
Um, I well, kind of cheesy, but I do watch a lot of like cooking shows. I read a lot of books. I read a lot of industry magazines. To kind of keep in touch of what's hot and what's not, and what are the newest things out there. Because sushi is definitely wasn't my first skill set. So I'm always learning. I've had many chefs that worked for me, sushi chefs that have come in and had a lot more experience than I did with sushi. I mean, I've run kitchens and restaurants forever, but that's such a specialized deal. So anybody I bring in, I try to learn from. I know I don't know it all, so I try to learn new things all the time.
Can you tell everybody a little bit about all the offerings that you have on your menu?
Right now, we do a lot of specialty rolls, which are very unique rolls just to us, that we have created over time. A lot of Southwest influences, which is my forte. I ran like Mesa Verde National Park as food and beverage director and executive chef for like 12 years.
Wow.
And then down to Lake Powell, and I was down there for 9 years, and I ran 9 restaurants down there that was all Southwest cuisine. So that's kind of my gig. So incorporating that into sushi was kind of fun, having your Asian flavors, but still you have your chilies and your chili powders and things like that that are much more Southwesty, I guess you could say. So yeah, there's a lot of those. We do a lot of the traditional rolls too. We also do a lot of nigiri and sashimi, different just straight raw fish applications. And then we do some more kind of fusion type stuff when it comes to like bowls, almost like a faux bowl, but we call it a fat bowl, which is just either noodles or rice and vegetables and different meats. And so, yeah, different sauces, kind of keep it fun.
The bowls sound great.
They're fun.
And it's some tempura you do as well.
Yeah, we do tempura also, shrimp, and then some vegetables, and
That's kind of
yeah.
up my alley there, the
There
tempura
you go.
and the bowls kind of deal. But
And we do almost like a play on tempura, which is more like a beer batter. We actually use Sapporo beer to make our tempura batter instead of traditional tempura batter. So it's got a little more body to it, and it's a little more unique. So it's kind of fun.
So tell us about those Pepperhead Margaritas.
Oh,
yeah,
geez. Well, when I first moved to Cortez, there was a little restaurant called Francisca's, and I knew the folks that ran that place. Well, when I moved down to Arizona, um, they ended up closing down and selling the business. Well, the family that ran it, then before, just as we got back to Cortez from Arizona, had opened another restaurant and was called Pepperhead. And what they did bring from the old little place was their Pepperhead Margaritas, which are extremely unique. They're painstaking to make, and I mean, basically what they do is they start out with grain alcohol. They make their own cellos out of zests and grain alcohol, and they let it set for like 6 months. And then from each one of those, they use that as the batch to make the margaritas with either orange or yellow or orange or limoncello. And then they add fresh sweet and sour that they make out of the fruit that they made the cellos from. And then they add in tequila, and then any other flavorings that we have like a pomegranate margarita. We have a in the season we have cranberry margaritas. We have blood orange margaritas. So they use the two bases, and then they make all those with it. They run almost 80 proof. They're not for the faint of heart, but they're totally craft made. And what happened is when Pepperhead closed down and we were still open, when the pandemic hit, I needed something that was easy for me and my staff to serve, not really easy to make, and I didn't want to make them because they're intense to make. So I called up Pete and Tess and said, "Hey, I have a need. If you guys are wanting to do something, I know Pete was retired, his daughter had moved on to other things, but they're like, huh, yeah, we'd like to do that." So I didn't want to be compared to them or anything because they were friends of mine. I didn't want to say, oh, I was stealing their recipe or anything like that. So I just brought them in, and what they do is twice a week they actually come into the restaurant. They make the margaritas. They've made all the cellos. They're on my wall. There's like five-gallon jars of cellos being fermented at all times, and then they make them twice a week, and we sell them. It's really cool, and they're amazing.
that's right in the whole vein and mission of E.P.I.C is collaborative process with other businesses and other people on this planet. So thank you for doing that. That's fantastic.
Do a lot of collaborations over the years with different restaurants, a couple of the little breweries around. You know, I we kind of had a mission statement, which is kind of cheesy when we started our place. I came from the corporate world, so everybody has a mission statement. So, but ours was to provide for our family, have a really cool place in Cortez, and a place that would give back to the community and that the community would be proud of. And that's what we've done. They have the best of Montezuma County every year, and we've won it, best restaurant, best chef for 9 or 10 years in a row.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
That's just what we do, and we try to do it well, and we try to get better all the time. And even when the pandemic hit, we just modified what we were doing to try to keep providing a service to the community.
Tell us what it is that you love the most about what you do.
I like working with my hands, and I like instant satisfaction of watching people smile when I give them a roll or a bowl or an appetizer, or if we do a catering event or whatever. it's instantaneous. You don't have to wait around to know if you did it right. So yeah, and it's being
How
creative. You get to be creative every day. Not a lot of people get to do that in their lives. I feel fortunate that I get to do that every day.
And the good thing about all the stuff you're serving too is that it sounds like there's a lot of nutrition in there. It's healthy having these bowls, and maybe not the tempura, but hey, everybody has to have a little cheat sometimes, right? It has to be.
Uh, we go off the Monterey-based Safe Watch list, so we're not serving endangered species. We make sure it's sustainable stuff. Anytime I can, especially in the summertime, I source 95% of my vegetables and stuff locally from the different farms and co-ops. I use a local beef out of Mancus. That's a Wagyu, beautiful Japanese grade Wagyu. So yeah, I mean, we try to keep it as local as we can. We have local wines and local beers on our beverage list. We use the Pepperhead Margaritas, which are collaborative and made in house. So we care about where we live, and we try to take care of that.
How were you first? How was like when you were just opening? Because I don't know. I've been here like 15 years. I've never heard of another sushi place in Cortez, Colorado. So how did the community venture into your
They
place,
thought
and
we
how
were
did they?
nuts.
They thought they what?
They thought we were nuts.
Okay.
Totally crazy. And we got that even up to 4 or 5 years ago. That people were still like, "What? Sushi in Cortez? What?" Yeah, they thought we were crazy. And I kind of thought we were crazy too at one time or another. But no, it worked out. It worked out well, and we have a great following. And we gave, we wanted to be a place that Cortez would be really proud of. And we are. We have people from Durango that would come over and eat at our place, or Monticello, or Farmington. People would drive in. It's kind of cool. So that's what we've done, and even though we are crazy, we've done okay with that.
Yeah, when you think of Cortez, you think desert. You don't think fish and ocean.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing people get is the way of the world now. Anything that I can legally serve fresh, I get it 18 hours out of the water. I mean, it's right off the boat. I mean, that's just the way of the world right now. I can order stuff right now and have it here, in 12 hours. So
Me hungry.
we took advantage of it.
That's great.
It's the same fish providers that deal with Durango and Telluride and Denver, and I mean, it's the same fish. It doesn't, it's not like we're getting subgrade because of where we are. It's the same stuff.
And can you let everyone know? So I know for a while you were just doing takeout. Is it still just takeout, or are you slowly bringing people back in the restaurant?
Right now, with staffing levels, I just don't have it. I went from 22 staff members down to 6, and that's with my wife and I.
Wow.
Don't have the staff to have full service. We just don't.
But so that's also really super great because people are doing other things, and sometimes they can't make it out to dinner these days. So they can just come by at any time, order some takeout, and do you
And
guys,
if you're city
you,
limits, we'll deliver right to your doorstep.
cool. That's great.
We have this cool little black car that has stonefish on the side and a stonefish on top, and it's the stonefish delivery car, and it's cruising all over town every day.
How'd you come up with the name?
Well, sushi, stone, or fish because of sushi, but stone because I had a lot of friends who were archaeologists, and there's a lot of sandstone and stuff around here, so it just kind of went together. And it worked. And it wasn't until about 2 years after we opened that I found out a stonefish is one of the most lethal fish there is in the ocean. It actually looked like an actual rock, and then they're like super deadly spines. And if you step on them, they can like paralyze you. Yeah, I didn't find that out till a couple years after we opened. I'm like, oh, great.
Well, then we're really glad we're clarifying why you named it Stonefish.
Well, people
archaeology of the area and the sushi.
folks come in and ask if we served stonefish. I'm like, no.
That could be your tagline. We do not serve stonefish.
Come in.
It's just a cool name.
It is, and it's a cool logo too.
Yeah, the logo came out really good. I had a local friend who's an artist, and I came up with the idea. I was like, I want this, fish, but I want maybe bones, make it look like a fossil. And she came up with the logo and the sunglasses on them, looking cool. And I'm like, that's great, and it's done really well.
Yeah, we have some great creative people in this area. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of creative people around here.
So you seem to know at a pretty young age that you wanted to be a chef. But if you could go back in time and offer your younger self some advice, what would that be?
Learn how to type. When I was still in high school, it was typing class, and I just screwed around and didn't learn how to type. I still look at my fingers, and I know of how much that would have helped me all the way through my corporate career and all the way into now. If I could sit down at the computer and actually type a letter or an email without going like this, it would be great. But yeah, that would be one, which is kind of funny, but yeah, I would do that.
Hey, practical skills certainly come in handy.
They really do.
I'm going to ask you another question, but something that came to mind when you talked. I love your voice. So when you said that you went to school for music originally and specifically for voice, do you sing in the kitchen?
Well, I sing in the kitchen, but for years I would do happy birthdays, like operatic style.
Cool.
And yeah, was kind of known for that people would come in and we give them a free roll or a drink or whatever, and I'd sing happy birthday to them. We'd bring out like a dessert for them, and I'd sing to them, finding out what their name was from their friend or whatever, and embarrass the crap out of them. So yeah, it was fun.
Okay, so are there going to be any like karaoke nights when things get back to somewhat normal and people can come in and
I don't know about karaoke, but we were really good about supporting local bands and things like that. We also have a big patio out back that you can put 150, 200 people on the patio with a band. We had a lot of parties out there. It was a lot of fun. So hopefully at some point we can get back to some of that. We'll see. Don't know.
Okay.
But music's always a part of my life. So it's if I'm not singing or playing ukulele or guitar or something, or there's always something going on. So
that's great.
It's part of that creative personality.
Absolutely. And
talented like that.
My kids are the same way. Both of them are artists, and they both play instruments and have a lot of fun, and so yeah, it's definitely a part of my life and their lives, and so yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah, in fact, one thing, speaking of music, is when I first built the restaurant out, the first thing I actually built was a stage in the front corner of the restaurant. And I got it built, and then my wife walked in and she's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "It's a stage." And she's like, "For what?" I'm like, "Well, we'll have music and bands and guitarists." Well, and she's like, "This is a restaurant. Where are you going to put everything else?" It was really the first thing I built. And she's like, "Don't you need a kitchen or a bar?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess so." And so then I had to figure out what I was going to do with the stage, because you're not going to have music every single day in your sushi restaurant. So then I built a little gate around it and put a little small table up there, a soji table, and then it was the fun table. So that's what we used. And then we had music, we pulled the table out and opened the gate, and we'd have a little stage. But yeah, that really was the actual first thing I built in the whole place.
That's cool. And then it's creative to turn it into something else that's like, here's your high profile table. People probably were like, I want to sit at that table.
Well, we had it that way. We actually had a place, we called it Table 8, and we would do like 5-course, really nice food for it. And you'd have to book the table, and the chef, I'd rotate myself, and then the other chefs, we would do little 5-course meals just for that table, for 150 bucks a person, to really make it exclusive with local wines, and everything was paired, and it wasn't all sushi. It was like whatever we wanted to make. So it was really fun. But yeah, it was good for us to be able to, flex our muscles a little bit as chefs, and also really do some fun stuff and use the table.
Creative and fun. That's awesome.
There you go. Gotta love it.
And what about plans for the future? Will you stick with sushi? Because you just mentioned, creating other stuff. So
Honestly, guys, I don't know. I mean, right now we are evolving. The takeout and delivery thing has evolved and done pretty well. I mean, it was out of necessity at first, but now it's actually becoming viable. So, I mean, what does that look like in the future? I don't know. I mean, we have always been people that have looked around and said, okay, what does this community need? What do I need? What do I need to be doing? And all that's changing right now. So that's how we are. We adapt and overcome all the time. That's kind of the restaurant business, anyways. But my wife and I have excelled at that for many years. And one thing is we are a little crazy, and we're not scared of change. And sometimes we even push change because we need it, if nothing else. We need to be fresh and creative. And if what we're doing is not giving us an outlet for that, we need to figure out something that does. And right now we're feeling a little stifled, honestly, because we just haven't been able to do what we think we should be doing or can do. So we're having to modify what we do to fit that. And it's evolving all the time. So I'd say kind of just wait and see where we're going to end up, because we're in the process of really thinking about that a lot every day.
things are certainly in flux.
Definitely are.
Yeah. What's funny is I was thinking about you guys, and I think you and I opened the same year. I think I was one of your first clients that signed up with you, and you got like, hey, I got this new magazine. I'm like, well, I'm a new restaurant, so yeah, let's do it.
Exactly. You've been with us for a very long time, almost
Yeah,
12
so
years.
that was cool, because my wife asked me, she's like, how long have we been with those guys? It's about the same time frame, wasn't it? I'm like, I think it was the same year. I mean, we were 2010. Was that when you guys opened too?
2011.
Yeah,
So you were just, yeah. So just after that. And yeah, that's fantastic. And you've been with us for a long time.
yeah, no, it's been great. We really like what you guys stand for, and we're nice people, and we like nice people, and we like things that promote nice people. And I really think that's what you guys promote, and I'm all for that. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
for the place.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that. And I hope some people, when they listen to this, they actually give you some other ideas too of what they want to see, so that you can keep exploring your creativity. And
Suggestions. Again, we don't know everything, and I know when I opened my place, I had friends all over the country and all over the world that do different restaurant concepts and things, and I pumped everybody for information. I was like, what would you do? And how would you do this? And what would you do around this? And so I compiled knowledge from all over the place. When my wife and I put this place together, we asked friends and family and different professionals, and different cuisines and different kind of concepts, and we put it all together and decided, well, we like this, we like this, we like this, and this works, and this works. And we collaborated a whole bunch to get where we are, and we're always doing that. So anybody has ideas, there's no bad ideas. It's just, is it the right idea for that time?
and then, are you hiring? Because you said you don't have enough help to kind of keep expanding back to where you were before.
What it is. I mean, honestly, it's sushi chefs mostly. I mean, I lost 5 really good sushi chefs that I didn't have a place for, and they're super good guys, and they moved on to different things. One lady and 3 guys, and we just didn't have the place, you know. And at the time when we first got shut down, it was me and one other guy, my lead guy. We were the only chefs because that's all we had, you know. And we were able to bring back two more, but we're still down 4 sushi chefs to even get close to what we need to do to open up the doors. And then it's that, can I absorb that and then open? But I don't want to open and, you know, fall on my face and have crappy service and all that stuff. It's a conundrum. So I mean, right now we're just doing what we're doing because it is working, but it's evolving. And what is the next evolution? That's what we're looking into now. So I'd say we are hiring, but it's according to what the skill level is and what the skills are that we can bring in that makes sense at this time.
Do you have any since you're going through this, and obviously all restaurants are going through it, and people have to adapt and change, and do you have any advice for any other restaurateurs out there, like as far as what's worked? And
I think the biggest thing is that the world has changed, and if you don't change with it and change something or not everything you're doing, you're going to get left behind. And it's really cut and dry. I don't know how many restaurants have closed down in Durango, but we've had several in this town that just tried to keep doing what they were doing, and it doesn't work. Things have changed, the customers changed, the industry's changed, the supply chains have changed. And if you don't change with it, you're in trouble. You have to figure it out. And, you know, you have to be able to turn on a dime and fix things instantly. I mean, you have to. If it doesn't work, do something else. Because you can't just keep banging your head against the wall thinking it's going to come back, because it's not. Things are different now.
yes, we're
And
familiar.
I hate to be that way.
Well, we're looking forward to what the next evolutions and fusions are of Stonefish Sushi, and it's been a pleasure to have you on today, Brandon. Can you let everybody know your website and Facebook page and how they can get a hold of you to order some fantastic sushi? And maybe you'll sing to them when you deliver. I don't know.
Oh, you never know. It could happen. It's a possibility. It could happen. You can find us at stonefishsushi.com. You can also find us on Facebook. You can download our app, which is really cool, on iOS and Android platforms. Has little stonefish right on your phone. You can press it and you can order right from there. And it keeps all your information, so it knows your favorite foods and your favorite stuff you order and all that stuff. Yeah, that's the easiest way to do it. And it's just right there. You can do it with your phone. Like this. And then you can also find us on chownow.com. That's also an ordering platform. You can order off of Google also. So yeah, I mean, we're all over the place for sure. Or you can just come to the window, order right from the window, right there. No big deal.
And what days and hours are you guys open now for?
Monday through Friday, which is a strange schedule for a restaurant that I've never had in my life, which is kind of odd. But you know, we struggled with Saturdays, covering Saturdays, and finally I just took it out of the equation. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna worry about trying to cover Saturdays anymore. We just don't have a Saturday right now. So at least through the winter time, it's Monday through Friday. We're open 4 to 7:30 for takeout delivery. Come summertime, we'll probably open back up, you know, another day, if not 2. Maybe we'll go 7 days a week if I can find the people to pull that off. But yeah, we're just kind of just riding the wave right now to see what happens. But you know, we're trying to evolve into whatever it's going to happen. I don't know. I really don't know. Did I think we were going to be doing this a year from, you know, last year? No, I thought things, you know, would be back to normal somewhat, but that's not happening. So we're going to think that things aren't. This is normal now, and we're going to figure out how to, you know, fit that paradigm how we can.
Well, thank you again for being on, and good luck with everything that's coming in the near future. And for more information about Stonefish Sushi, again, go to stonefishsushi.com. And for more info on E.P.I.C, go to epicconsciousliving.com. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you very much.